Well, at this time yesterday, I said that last night was Anthony Albanese's big opportunity to ditch his small target approach and tell the Australian public how he'll deliver if he takes government. How will our wages rise, as he says they will? How will he help cost of living pressures? And how will he achieve all those platitudes about building a better Australia? Great opportunity. Well, despite 30 minutes of free air in his budget reply and the usual manufactured raucous applause, we got way less than what I even expected. On the wages path, we simply got another platitude.
I believe Australians deserve a better future. I believe in higher wages.
And? No detail? He's still relying on writing a letter to Fair Work Australia. Good luck with that. On cost of living measures, such as what Josh Frydenberg delivered this week, cheaper petrol and a cash injection. Well, he even ridiculed that.
Just one-off handouts to get through an election with all the sincerity of a fake tan. I think Australians will see this for what it is. Actually, I don't think, I know.
Well, have you seen petrol prices today, Albo? Maybe you don't fill your car up. They're going down already. And a little bit of a cash injection can help you catch up and pay the bill that you put over to the next month. This is the same bloke, mind you, who stood stoically behind Kevin 07, and Kevin made an art form out of cash payments to offset the impact of GFC. So we got nothing on cost of living from Albo last night either, at all. But we did get a $2.5 billion commitment to improve aged care. Basically, another game of snap with the government. He's simply fallen into line with the Royal Commission's recommendations, which the government has begun rolling out anyway. Now, the only difference, and this is nothing to show off about or boast about, Albo will follow the union's demand for a 25% wage rise in the sector. If they get what they ask for from Fair Work, he'll pay it. That's right, the unions and their ambit and ridiculous pay claim is what will direct the new Prime Minister if he becomes that. That's more like the left-wing Albo we remember, isn't it? That'd cost the taxpayer, forget about the $2.2 billion he spoke about last night, that'd cost the taxpayer another $4.5 billion and become the highest pay rise ever granted by any Australian wage commission. But he's up for it. Beware of smoke and mirrors, because if you refuse to detail what you'll do in charge of this country, that's all you've got left. Lots of deceptive smoke and mirrors. But Albo did differentiate himself from the Morrison government last night on the renewable front. Everything seemed to come back to climate change.
Just look at what we've announced on climate change. Labor will end the climate wars. Climate change is here, and its consequences are devastating. A government that's ready to roll up its sleeves and tackle the challenge of climate change. My fellow Australians, we will act on climate change. Dealing with climate change presents opportunities, not just challenges.
All roads lead to climate change. Let's remember the fact, if Australia stopped all CO2 emissions tomorrow, we would make an infinitesimal difference to the temperature of the planet. He remembers that, right? Plus, as the world cuts Russia off as an energy source, we are in desperate need of fossil fuels and baseload power to keep the lights on. Today, what did the US do? It announced it would release 1 million barrels of oil per day from its reserves for the next 9 months. It is an unprecedented amount, now on tap for soon-to-be power-starved European nations.
And now many people are no longer buying Russian oil around the world. I banned the Russian import of oil here in America. Republicans and Democrats in Congress called for it and supported it. It was the right thing to do.
Solar panels and wind turbines aren't going to fill that very large gap. Meanwhile, what's Australia doing? We're sending 70,000 tonnes of coal to Ukraine with more promised. I think Albo needs to keep up. The world is in crisis and our priorities must change or we'll suffer even more from Vladimir Putin's senseless war. So that was what we got from Anthony Albanese last night. Another game of snap lots of truisms about a better Australia, and no detail at all about where the money comes from. Maybe he'll still win government based on this flim-flam campaign, but I'm telling you, some of us value our vote too much to become electoral suckers.